what are you willing to sacrifice for?
Yeah.
Are you actually willing to give up your life for
True.
certain liberties that should be afforded to us without loss of life?
Correct.
When you're looking to make, especially as drastic changes as it would indicate, unfortunately, traumatic situations always invoke a need for necessary change. If you look at even how our nation and the fabric of our nations are built, unless something traumatic, something devastating happens, there's no sense of immediate or urgency to create the very thing that you've been speaking, you've been declaring. Look at the things that in the schools. You've been having repeatedly students returning to schools, and they're killing other students. And so you're having a loss of life, and it has to be a loss of a certain type of life in order to actually invoke some type of change. And so when you're dealing with these different things, and we're talking about certain liberties that we have, okay, let's talk about it a minute. If your liberty infringes on my liberty, it's no longer a liberty.
True.
And this is what we're dealing with now. We have different factions that are coming saying that we have rights. And that's something that happened with the LGBTQ community, to where they wanted to establish rights. They pushed forward. They had the power behind it. They had the money behind it. They had the prestige behind it. They had all of these influences that went in and say, this is what we want. You're going to push forward. And guess what? They got rights. They got rights. So as a people, we constantly find ways to pull ourselves down. Why? Because if it's a position of power, I'm going to undermine you in order for me to get it. And so I'm talking about how a black person can't become a judge when I have a black person that's trying to come up, and I assassinate him because I want to be the one that, instead of pushing each other up to the place where we got one in there, that one pushes up and we got two in there. And unfortunately, fortunate and unfortunate, you see this in other communities where they will get behind one to push one out there to make sure one is in a strategic position to make way for others, and also be qualified